everyone, I'm Lauren, and this is my channel, Miss Sunny Gamer. I'm here today to do the mid-book freakout tag. It's technically a little bit past the middle of the year, but hey, whatever. Who's keeping track? Basically, it's 13 questions, which are mostly about what I read in the first half of the year. There's not really much else that I need to go into other than that, so with that, let's just move on to the first question. I wrote them all down in my book because I can't remember 13 questions. The first question is, what is the best book that you read so far in 2019? I feel like I haven't read too many books that really hit home for me, so this isn't really a hard question to answer, I think. So easily the best book that I read in 2019 so far is Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan, the first bind-up in the Riria Revelation series. It's just a lot of fun, the main characters are great, and it's pretty speedy, and I just love the action scenes in here. They're so fun. That's just what I really want in a good action-packed fantasy novel. What's great too is that I have so many more of these to look forward to reading as well. I'm excited. Question number 2 is, what is the best sequel that you read in 2019? For this question, I picked a few different books, actually. The first one is Artificial Condition by Martha Wells, the second book in the Murderbot series. Murderbot is just a great character, and he really makes these stories really great. So I love Murderbot. Yay, Murderbot. Then I have Death March to a Parallel World Rhapsody Volume 8 by Hiro Ainana. It's not really that deep of a light novel series, but it's just a lot of fun. All of these characters are traveling around, cooking food, and kicking butt. It's just a series that's a lot of fun for me, and this volume I feel is especially good. Then I have Yotsuba Volume 14 by Kiyohiko Azuma. This series is just so cute, and it's so funny, and it's really, really well drawn too. I feel like this volume is just better than ever, and I had a blast reading it. The last one I have for this question is A Bride Story Volume 5 by Kaoru Mori. I'm not sure how much of this is true to life, but it does take place in a Middle Eastern type of setting, and it's something that I don't see very often. Additionally, the characters are just really great, the art is amazing, and I am a really, really big fan of the mangaka anyway, and this is just no different. Question 3. What new release do you want to read? I haven't been super good at keeping track of new releases. I'm still figuring out how to find books that I'm interested in and what I like and what I don't like. I don't really have too many ideas on what books would fit this question for me. However, out of the books that I own that I haven't read yet and are new, there's Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 1 by Kentaro Miura. I think this came out in February or so. It's just a big action-packed manga that is a classic and highly regarded, so I'm looking forward to reading it at some point soon, hopefully. It's definitely a big boy though, that's for sure. Other than that, Age of Legend by Michael J. Sullivan did come out recently. I think it came out a few days ago. I am looking forward to reading that, although it'll be quite a while before I read it because I want to finish the books in publication order. So I have to first read the Riria Revelation series, the Riria Chronicles series, and then all the books in whatever series Age of Legend is in. And I think it's the 6th or 5th book or something, so I have a lot of books before I can even get to that. Question number 4. What is your most anticipated book for 2019? So basically, what book hasn't come out yet and you're looking forward to in the next half of 2019? Again, I haven't been keeping good track on what I'm looking forward to, what's coming out, and what I actually even like, really. However, I did think of 2 books that I am looking forward to. First off, the illustrated edition of The Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling is coming out in October, I think. I'm just really looking forward to it because I've been wanting to reread the Harry Potter series, and I thought reading it through the illustrated editions would be the best way to go. However, they do take a long time to come out, so the Goblet of Fire has been in production for quite some time. It's probably going to be well worth it though, and I'm looking forward to reading that. The other book that I'm looking forward to in later 2019 is Angel Mage by Garth Nix. I think that's also coming out in October or maybe September. I don't remember. I don't really know anything about this book. However, Garth Nix is an author that I love a lot, at least from the things I've read. Honestly, I'd probably pick up anything by Garth Nix as long as it wasn't like a board book for kids or something, I don't know. I believe Angel Mage is the first adult book that he's written, but don't quote me on that, I don't know for sure. Either way, I'm really looking forward to it coming out. Number 5, what is the biggest disappointment so far? I have 2 books for this, one of which is going to be a little bit controversial, but hey, everybody likes different things. Starting with the less controversial one, Homeland by R.A. Salvatore. This is the first book in the Drizzt series. The problem I have with this book is that it wasn't made to be the first book in the series, and I think it shows. It's pretty boring, I think, for a first book, and there wasn't really a lot of action to get me into the story, and the character hadn't really developed fully yet. And I will be reading more books in this series at some point. However, I won't be reading the number 2 book in the series. I'll probably read either the first published book or another book that people recommend as a good starting point in the series. The more controversial book that I was disappointed in is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, the second book in the Mistborn series. I loved the first Mistborn book. I really didn't like this Mistborn book. It was just really, really slow with not much happening. Not much new information was coming up until right at the very end. And just a lot of stupid scenes with humming and hawing. And the 2 main characters were wondering a lot if the other person liked them or not. And I'm like, That being said, I'm still going to read the 3rd book in the series. However, this was just a no for me. Number 6 is... what is the biggest surprise of 2019? The first one I have for this is actually Theft of Swords. I was recommended this on the r/fantasy subreddit, and honestly I didn't really think too much about it, just reading the description. It just didn't seem exciting to me, like 2 guys getting framed for murdering the king, and then they have to flee and run away, and woo. It just kind of sounded generic, I guess? I don't know. However, the 2 main characters are a blast, and the writing style is really fun to read, and it's just really good time. The other book I have for this question is Circe by Madeline Miller. I kind of picked this up on a whim, and it was actually really, really good. I know very little about Greek mythology, and I wasn't super sure if I needed to know much about that to enjoy this, and thankfully I didn't, and it was just really good. Really sad though, with points. Also, it's shiny. Question number 7. What are your new favorite authors? I hate to keep on bringing this up again. Michael J. Sullivan. Another one that I brought up before, Martha Wells. I also read the first book earlier in the year, but I'm holding up the second book because that's what I have right in my pile here. Again, I think I really like her writing style, at least so far. I want to read more books from her. And the third author I have for this, Kamome Shirahama. I love this manga so much. I really want to read more. Question number 8. What is a new fictional crush? I don't really get crushes in novels. I don't really get crushes from any sort of medium. Heck, I don't really get crushes in real life, let's be real here. The closest thing I can get maybe is Aze from Death March. She's a character that was introduced in this volume of Death March. And she's just really cute and nice, and maybe not the deepest of characters around, but I don't know, I just really like her. She's cute. Yay, elves too. Woo. Question number 9. What is a new favorite character? Sorry to bring this up yet again, but for me, I feel like my 2 favorite characters are Hadrian and Royce from the Theft of Swords. They're just badasses. They're good at what they do, they're nice and witty, and yeah, that's what I want. Question number 10. What book made you cry? Now, I don't really cry because of books. I cry sometimes for movies, but never have I cried for a book. The closest I can think of this is if I go in the direction of cried because of boredom. And for me, this would be The Tea Master and the Detective by Aliette de Bodard. It was just a big confusing mess to me. It was only 90 pages or so, but it was just, when is this gonna end? The characters weren't interesting, and I didn't understand what they were doing or why they were doing certain things. That's not really a good feeling to have from a book, you know? Question number 11. What books made you happy? I mean, I get happy when I see badass characters kick some butt, so Theft of Swords. Definitely A Bride's Story, Volume 5 as well. The characters are just a lot of fun and really charming, and that makes me happy. As well, Yotsuba and Volume 14, just because Yotsuba's a lot of fun and silly and gets into a lot of crazy shenanigans, and that makes me happy too. Question number 12. What are the most beautiful books you've acquired this year? I have quite a few picks for this one. Death March Volume 8. I just really like the background, it's so pretty. I love covers with backgrounds and pretty art more than a stylistic kind of art, so this really speaks to me, very much so. Again, Witch Hat Atelier, Volume 1. I just love how it looks. It's so nice, and the background's so well drawn, and the characters well drawn. For some different picks, I have A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is kind of different from the aesthetic I normally like with books, as it's more stylized and very minimalistic, but I think this one really works out well. It has a nice contrast between the white and the black and the red, and it also fits really well with the themes in the book, with the different kinds of Londons, the black, the red, the gray, that kind of thing. So I really like this. This one, maybe not the most beautiful one of these picks, but I'm a little fond of it. Katana Katari, Volume 1 by Nishio Eisin. I don't know, I just really like the art style for this particular artist. I forgot their name, but they have this really clean-cut look in their characters. There's some nice action kind of going on in here. I don't know, I really like it. And finally, I'm also really rather fond of Cut Time Volume 1 by Judy Zhang. I mean, other than the fact that it's got shiny on it, part of it is definitely I just really like her art, but it looks so nice. It's got some nice symmetry to it. It also goes along to the back too, and it's just, oh, more shiny, it looks so nice. I just think she really did a good job with this print. For the final question, what books do you want to get to by the end of the year? Obviously, I want to finish the books I assigned myself for the Medievalathon this month. I talked about those books and the Medievalathon in another video, so I'll link to it somewhere and you can check out what those books are. However, I also have some other books I want to read this year. I'm not just going to stop next month and call it quits on reading forever. Just out of the books that I own, I have the biggest boof, boy, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind by Hayao Miyazaki. It's the boofiest of mangas. Jesus, this is so heavy. I have The Kalahari Typing School for Men by Alexander McCall Smith. I've been borrowing this for a really long time from my mom-in-law. I really need to get this already because the series is quite good. It's a really fun and pretty chill mystery series set in Botswana. Lyriel by Garth Nix. I've already read this book, but I've been wanting to reread the Abhorsen series so I can get to the newer Abhorsen books by Garth Nix. I've already read Sabriel this year, so need to continue on with this. The Thief by Megan Welland Turner, same as Lyriel. I want to read the rest of the series, so I need to reread this one as it's the first book. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling, specifically the illustrated edition. Since The Goblet of Fire is coming out in October or so, I want to read the next book so I'm not too far behind. Again, it's another reread. I just have a lot of books that I want to reread. And really, I don't have too many books in my collection that I haven't read already. I need to do the exact numbers, but regardless, another book that I want to get to. And the final book that I have here, there's definitely going to be more books that I'll want to read as the months go by. But this one is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. It wraps up the first bit of the Mistborn series, and after the second book, which was kind of a disappointment, I really want to get to this one, as my husband told me it's a lot better. And yeah, that's all the questions that I have for the tag. I don't have anyone specific to tag to also do these questions. However, if you want to try them yourself, feel free to do so. If you'd like, let me know in the comments below what your most favorite book of the year was, and maybe what was a disappointing book of the year for you. Again, thank you so much if you watched the whole thing. I hope to see you again for another video. Bye!